Because this particular report is also, well, more like a lead for us to know what to do. And
That's right.
The way you highlighted it, seeing how well you can actually, well, stifle where these funds are coming
It is
from.
important.
And, well, if you don't have these incentives, then you wouldn't have recruits coming in.
That's right.
But again, you know, we still go back to the borders. And now Cameroon has been speaking, and a lot of other countries are worried. Now we're getting to see the influx of some of these in Niger Republic.
That's right.
It means we have a whole lot of issues around our borders and the access. What can we do? Because from what Gusau said, he said we should also be asking the Immigration Service some of those questions concerning our border. We mustn't have this excuse of always saying our borders are porous. Can't we do something at least?
We can. When we call on immigration to check our borders, are we saying immigration officials, you know, as we try to recruit them to go and stand on the bush paths, waiting for people who are crossing over? The immigration doesn't function that way. There are supposed to be barriers that prevent people from unauthorized routes, so that everybody will be compelled to come into a country from the structural border posts. But because we don't have them, sometime when the 2013 budget was being drawn, I think I was here and we discussed issues on budget as relates to security, and I said the budget then was not enough. We need to barricade, we need to fence our borders, no matter how much it costs. There are wire fences with which we can take that vast area, even if we have to borrow. When you're talking about calling on international community to come, what are we asking them to do? To come and help us chase these people around?
But what does that
We should
guarantee?
be calling on international community now, borrowing from sources which are also available from where we have borrowed before, to provide border security.
But what does that guarantee? In the sense that if you say that we should fence it off.
Yes.
I mean, wire fences can be cut.
No. It depends on how it's done. If you see the things that fence away certain elements in the Palestinian-Israeli struggle, you will see how people think. You can run a vast expanse of wire mesh, create buffer zones. We have gotten to that point. Clean up an environment that the moment you step across, you are picked up on a radar. It has gotten to that point, if we really believe that those areas are parts of Nigeria.
You know,
because the number of people that have died now cannot equate with the amount of money we need to spend to protect our borders.
Just a moment.
But what we have here as borders now are structures, areas that slow down business operations from genuine people. The criminals don't pass through those environments.
But is it possible to start this project even with the insurgency still ongoing?
Of course it is. It is. What we have here now is that, of course, everybody knows that Nigeria has a very strong military might. Now, apart from whatever may be going on the minds of Boko Haram, part of abducting these girls and keeping them in the forest, of course, is to have human shield. That should be one part of it. They may have several other reasons. So it's even difficult for the Nigerian army to move with force. Otherwise, a lot of people will go in for it. But before this happened, we should have been thinking along that line. We should have been clearly mapping out our borders and fencing them up. But there is a big challenge. When you listen to the Lamido of Adamawa speak at the conference, with all due respect for him, what that revealed was that Nigeria is spread beyond our physical borders. And that certain elements or interests within those environments will not permit us to have our own Nigeria to us, our own Adamawa to Nigeria alone, and leave the Adamawa of Cameroon to Cameroon.
Even if we want to erect that barricade or that buffer zone?
That's what I'm saying. Certain interests will resist it. Because what we have here is a people who are historically, culturally the same, but divided by physical borders. So, for me, those are the things we need to begin to look at, that the Lamido have revealed something very germane. Now, if we have, for instance, I am from Obingwa local government in Abia, whereas I have my kith and kin who are in Akwa Ibom, we should now begin to look at, are there ways of identifying those who are part of this environment so that we can create a proper barrier?
So irrespective of the physical border?
Yes. It is difficult. But that is where we are supposed to be looking into now, because sometime in the near future, this will be a serious problem. But the challenge is, when these things are revealed to us, we don't read those meanings and begin to take those actions initially. You had our friend, the essay to the governor, said Boko Haram came in 2001, attacked, retreated. Came in 2004, attacked, retreated. By the time they attacked and retreated, what did we do? They have attacked and retreated 4 times. Haven't seen that they were testing the waters, and haven't seen that these people have not stepped up anything and cannot even nip them. They launched a full attack. So now that this information has been revealed, that there are Nigerians who live the other end, and that those places are even safe haven in case Nigeria boils. If it boils in the south, believe me, I have nowhere to go unless I'm heading to Cameroon or to Benin Republic. I don't have kith and kin there as nationals. So this is a revelation. How do we begin to map out the Adamawa of Nigeria, leaving out the Adamawa of Cameroon?
So we also are delving into the realm of politics, but also speaking, a little more politically now. How do we begin to? Because yesterday we had a guest on the program who was also talking about how efforts have not been enough, and how they also perceive this as a ploy to ensure that the Northeast doesn't participate in democracy. It would seem that all sorts of ideologies are beginning to make the rounds. How do we begin to counter them politically, especially with 2015 elections coming so close?
You see, part of the challenges of this insurgency is that even when the federal government have offered dialogue, these guys don't feel safe to come out and talk. Why? I'm not talking about physical protection here, safety. I am talking about the safety of their ideology. Because some of the things they are fighting for cannot be presented on the table. What is Boko Haram? They're against Western education. Why? Because, a people who are used to marrying 6 wives at 13 years old, how would they come to discuss that in civilization, that, look, leave our place, don't educate our children so that they can remain, they can be betrothed to us? They can't present that. But these are serious issues for them, which they cannot talk in the public. So, what are they coming to discuss? They have nothing to present to us other than using brute force to try to preserve their own ideology and culture. What is Boko Haram? We don't like Western education. In the North now, it has become a common knowledge that any young girl that wants to travel abroad can seek asylum, complaining that she was betrothed to someone and forced marriage, and before you know it, she's up in Canada or in Switzerland. So, these things are opening their eyes. There were times in this country when the ladies, even the men, we had no mobile phones. But today, everybody has these things and we are chatting and sending all kinds of messages. They don't like them. These guys are no longer in control of what used to be easy for them to control. So for them, it's a fight to finish. But it doesn't make sense to you and I in the South here. And that's why they cannot talk about it. They cannot talk about Islamizing a region in the 21st century.
Well, that
a
is
region that is also, that has a remarkable number of people who are well civilized. So some of these challenges are there that they cannot present on table, and they cannot talk to anybody other than using brute force to push this. It's like a jihad.
All right, we'll be back to continue on this matter and look at some questions and comments coming through from you out there. So please join us again.